So we're now on the 5th week of embryonic development, and previously we did a video on the 4th week of embryonic development. And I've told you guys that once you've gone past the 3rd week of embryonic development, you don't need to worry so much, okay? Because the 4th week of embryonic development till the 8th week of embryonic development is just things that you can actually reason out. All right. So our focus today is to discuss the 5th week of embryonic development. I'd like you guys, there are so many images here, but I'd like you guys to just take note of the 5th week of embryonic development, okay? So, we'll be talking about the external structures that will develop, which I'll try to show you guys, and some internal structures that will develop that I'll just like you guys to just maybe use your atlas to actually check it out, okay? So, during the 5th week of embryonic development, several key events occur as the tiny human embryo continues to develop, okay? So now let's delve into these fascinating details that occur in the 5th week of embryonic development, all right? So first on the list is pituitary elongation. And pituitary elongation, the pituitary gland is actually an internal structure, so I can't show you guys from the outside, all right? But using your atlas under the head and neck, you could see the pituitary gland in the hypophyseal fossa, that's the middle cranial fossa, all right? So the pituitary gland elongates during this week, and it makes contact with the infundibulum and the diverticulum of the diencephalon, okay? Heart septations begins. All right, heart septations is basically like, okay, you dividing the heart into the atrial portion that is up and the ventricular portion that is down. All right, so it begins in the 5th week of embryonic development. All right, so the heart starts its septation process in this week. Now atrial and ventricular septa begins to form. All right, then okay, that's the heart. The heart has to do with the cardiovascular system. Then we have series of um stuffs happening in the respiratory system too. We have the lung buds. We have the left and right lung buds push into the pericardioperitoneal canals, which will eventually become the pleural cavity. Okay. Then lung histology. We said that from the week 5 to week 17, lung histology progresses through the pseudoglandular stage, right? Basically, lung development occurs at this week of development. Then cochlear elongation has to do with your listening system, all right? That's your auditory system. We say that the cochlear part of the otic vesicles elongates, okay? Cochlear part of the otic vesicle, okay? So in humans, it undergoes approximately 2.5 tons. Yeah, this is the auditory system, all right? So the cochlear basically elongates in this week, okay? And the cochlea is like a spiral, like a snail, okay? So now those tons, 2.5 tons, occur in the 5th week of embryonic development, all right? So this is your embryo, and this is the 5th week of pregnancy or 5th week of embryonic development, right? So now, this week 5, we just spoke about the fascinating details, okay? That's like development, all right? These fascinating details are actually divided into stages, okay? Now, the week 5 actually coincides with the uh, Carnegie stage 14 and Carnegie stage 15, all right? So the Carnegie stages are actually another way of, okay, the Carnegie stages are basically 25. Okay, they are 23, right? Carnegie stages are 23, all right? And they can be used to still describe embryo development, all right? So if you want to check them out, fine. If you don't want to check them out, you could just forget that they are here, okay? And let's discuss the week 5 as it is, all right? So now let's delve into the stages during the week 5, okay? And the stages are like the Carnegie, it coincides with the Carnegie stage 14, where we have the ectoderm. All right, so sensory placards, lens pits, otocytes, nasal placards, primary and secondary brain vesicles, that are the prosencephalon, metencephalon, melencephalon, okay, and the fourth ventricle of the brain, okay, develop in this stage. They are about the mesoderm. All right, basically they are formed from the ectoderm, right? How about the mesoderm? There's a continued segmentation of the paraxial mesoderm, all right, that's the somites part, okay, getting to form the sclerotum, getting to form the myotum, getting to form the dermatum, all right. They are formed from the mesoderm and it occurs in the 5th week of embryonic development, all right, and also heart prominence, all right. Then how about the head? The first, second, and third pharyngeal arches, forebrain, site of lens placodes, site of otic placodes, and stomodium. Okay, uh, all of them, their development to form the head actually occurs in the 5th week of embryonic development. Then about the body, we have visible external bulges from the heart, from the liver, from the umbilical cord, and from the mesonephric ridge. All right. Then about the limb, we have the upper and the lower limb buds growing. Okay, those ones I can show you guys from the picture. This is the upper limb buds. This is actually the lower limb buds, right? And they continue to grow in the 5th week of embryonic development. The neural aspect, we said that the first appearance of the feature cerebral hemispheres, the cerebral plate differentiates into an intermediate layer. The future rhombic lip becomes identifiable. The liver's hepatic glands and the vascular channels enlarge, and the hematopoietic functions appears. All right. So you know that in the developing embryo, I think um, that just talk about the stages of hematopoiesis, right? We have already talked about the stages of hematopoiesis when we were doing lectures on blood physiology, right? You could check about blood physiology. Just go to our channel, go to the playlist, I get blood physiology there. All right. I'd like you guys to just put week 5, right? Then the Carnegie stage 15, all right. It also coincides with week 5 of development. All right. Then here we have the neural aspect where we have cranial nerves except the olfactory and optic nerve. Okay, they become identifiable in more advanced embryos. Right. So basically, cranial nerves form during the week 5, but the olfactory and the optic nerves, okay, become identifiable as the embryo continues to develop. Okay, further than the week 5. Then how about the eye? uh, the retinal pigment is present between day 15th and day 37th. Okay, so you know that from day 1 to 7, week 1, from day 8 to 14, week 2, from day 15 to 21, that's week 3, from day 22 to 28 is what? Week 4. Okay, so week 5 should be from 29 plus 7, that's 36. All right, so these names are 36, 37. All right, so these days are between the uh, 5th week of development. All right, and this is when retinal pigment actually appears. All right, becomes present. Okay, so guys, that's basically the 5th week of embryonic development. All right, the series of events, okay, that occurs in the 5th week of embryonic development. All right, so see you guys in the 6th week of embryonic development, and bye for now.